What if the bread you eat every morning is quietly aging you from the inside out? Imagine standing in the bread aisle, dozens of loaves staring back at you. Some promising whole grain, others labeled gluten-free or heart-healthy. But here's the shocking truth: the decision you make in that moment could literally add or subtract years from your life. That's not just a catchy claim. In a landmark 2023 study from Harvard Medical School, researchers tracked over 93,000 adults over 60 for 2 decades. They found that those who regularly chose the right types of bread had a 43% lower risk of heart disease and lived an average of 7.2 years longer than those who didn't. But here's what most people don't know. Once you turn 60, your body handles bread very differently than it did in your 40s. Digestive enzymes drop by up to 40%, your metabolism slows, and your blood sugar regulation becomes more fragile. That means bread that used to be perfectly fine might now be clogging your arteries, triggering inflammation and accelerating aging at the cellular level. In this video, we'll uncover the 4 breads every adult over 60 should be eating, and the 4 you need to avoid immediately. One bread on our must-eat list was even shown in a 2024 study to reduce arthritis pain by 47% and improve memory test scores by 31% in adults over 65. So before we dive in, leave us a comment below. Tell us where you're watching from. We read every comment and we respond with personalized tips to support your health journey. And now, without keeping you waiting, let's begin. Let's kick things off with one of the most surprising breads on the list, sprouted grain bread, coming in at number 4. This isn't your typical supermarket loaf. In fact, it takes us back to a time when grains were prepared the way our ancestors did for thousands of years. Before modern milling and preservatives, people soaked whole grains until they began to sprout, then ground them into flour. It sounds simple, almost primitive, but this ancient practice dramatically changes the grain's nutritional structure in ways that modern science is only now beginning to fully appreciate. For adults over 60, the benefits of sprouted grain bread can sound almost too good to be true. And yet, they're supported by real research. The most immediate advantage: easier digestion. As we age, our digestive efficiency decreases, but sprouted grains help bridge that gap. During sprouting, natural enzymes break down complex starches and proteins into simpler, more digestible forms, making this bread a gentle ally for older digestive systems. A 2023 study from the UCLA Center for Human Nutrition put this to the test. Researchers observed 500 adults over 65 with common digestive issues like bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. After switching to sprouted grain bread for just 8 weeks, 73% reported significant improvements in their symptoms. Blood tests revealed why the sprouting process reduces phytic acid by up to 81%, a compound known to block the absorption of minerals and irritate the gut lining. But the benefits don't stop at digestion. Despite having a similar carbohydrate count to regular whole wheat bread, sprouted grain bread has a far gentler impact on blood sugar. According to the Glycemic Index Foundation, sprouted bread has a glycemic index of just 36 compared to 51 for whole wheat and 75 for white bread. That means fewer sugar crashes, more stable energy, and better metabolic health, especially critical for those managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Nutritionally, it reads like a multivitamin. The sprouting process boosts vitamin C by a staggering 600%, B vitamins by 300%, and even generates unique anti-inflammatory compounds called benzoxazinoids. In a German study involving 900 adults, over 60 daily consumption of sprouted grain bread increased folate levels by 42% and improved B12 absorption by 38%. 2 nutrients vital for brain function, energy, and nerve health. This is especially important since B12 deficiency affects up to 40% of older adults, contributing to fatigue, memory decline, and even nerve damage. Adding sprouted bread to your diet can be a smart, natural step to help fill those gaps. That said, you'll need to make a few small adjustments. First, look in the freezer section, not the bread aisle. Because it's free from preservatives, it stays fresh for only about 5 days at room temperature. Buy a few loaves, keep them frozen, and pull out slices as needed. They toast beautifully, straight from the freezer. The texture is denser, nuttier, and richer than regular bread, with visible whole grains throughout. Try starting your day with one slice toasted and topped with almond butter and sliced banana. This mix of healthy fats, protein, and complex carbs will keep you full and energized for hours. Number 3. Authentic sourdough bread. Sourdough bread isn't just a comforting throwback to your childhood kitchen. For those over 60, it can be a powerful ally for digestion, blood sugar, and overall vitality. What makes sourdough so special? It's a living, breathing food crafted from just 3 ingredients: flour, water, and a natural sourdough starter, which is a blend of wild yeast and beneficial bacteria. Unlike mass-produced bread, this one goes through a slow fermentation process that transforms both its flavor and function. Here's what most people don't realize: that long fermentation helps break down gluten and phytic acid, 2 compounds that can make digestion harder as we age. This makes sourdough far easier on the stomach than standard bread, especially for seniors with sluggish digestion or sensitivity to gluten. In fact, a 2022 study published in Food Microbiology found that older adults who replaced their regular bread with real sourdough reported a 26% improvement in gut comfort. They experienced less bloating, fewer irregular bowel movements, and better overall digestion. Why? Because the good bacteria left behind in sourdough act as prebiotics, feeding the helpful microbes in your gut. And a healthy gut microbiome is key to a stronger immune system and emotional well-being, both of which naturally become more fragile with age. But sourdough's benefits go beyond digestion. That same slow fermentation also lowers its glycemic index, meaning it won't spike your blood sugar the way white bread or even whole wheat bread can. In a study from the University of Toronto, seniors who ate sourdough at breakfast had post-meal blood sugar levels that were 45% lower than those who ate regular bread. For anyone managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, which now affects nearly 1 in 3 people over 60, that's a big deal. Sourdough also naturally retains B vitamins and minerals like magnesium, essential for muscle strength, nerve health, and energy as we age. To get the full benefit, always choose whole grain sourdough made with a true sourdough starter, not just something with sourdough flavor or commercial yeast on the label. The best sourdoughs have a dark, crackly crust and a chewy, airy interior with a mild, tangy taste, a sure sign of real fermentation. You can toast a slice in the morning, top it with avocado and a poached egg, or pair it with soup for a wholesome lunch. Just 2 slices a day are enough to support your gut, stabilize blood sugar, and nourish your body. If you're used to the soft processed loaves at the supermarket, sourdough might feel a little rustic at first. But give it a chance, your taste buds and your digestion will adapt quickly. And if you're into baking, sourdough is one of the easiest and most rewarding breads to try at home. Plus, it fills your kitchen with the most incredible aroma. So don't overlook this humble old-school loaf. It might just be your gut's best friend. Number 2, rye bread, a simple yet powerful upgrade for your health, backed by science. Rye bread may not get as much attention as other trendy loaves, but this hearty grain has been a nutritional staple in Northern Europe for centuries, and for good reason. Especially for older adults looking to protect their hearts and manage blood sugar, rye delivers benefits that few other breads can match. Rye is naturally rich in soluble fiber, particularly a unique type called arabinoxalan. What does that do? It helps bind cholesterol in your digestive tract, so more of it gets flushed out rather than absorbed into your bloodstream. The results. In a 2020 clinical trial from Finland, published in the Journal of Nutrition, adults over 65 who ate just 2 slices of whole grain rye bread daily reduced their LDL cholesterol by 16% in just 3 months. Participants also reported feeling more full and energized, a bonus for anyone trying to avoid overeating or energy dips. But where rye really shines is in blood sugar control. Unlike white wheat bread, which causes sharp spikes followed by crashes, rye is digested slowly, leading to a more gradual and stable rise in blood sugar. The same Finnish study found that those eating rye had 22% lower fasting insulin levels, an important marker of better metabolic health. And since high insulin is tied to belly fat and chronic inflammation, choosing rye might help you keep both your waistline and inflammation in check, even as metabolism naturally slows with age. Shopping tip: always choose rye bread made from whole rye flour or whole grain rye. Skip the soft pale varieties made mostly from white flour and caramel coloring. They don't offer the same benefits. Authentic rye bread is darker, denser, and often carries a subtle tangy flavor. It's a great fit for sandwiches with smoked salmon or lean turkey, makes an excellent toast, and pairs beautifully with bold cheeses or hearty soups. Plus, thanks to its slow digesting fiber, it helps you stay full longer, perfect for steady morning energy. Many seniors also find that switching to rye improves regularity. Constipation is a common issue with age, and rye is one of the most effective breads for keeping digestion moving naturally. So if you're ready for a Scandinavian classic with serious science behind it, it's time to welcome rye bread to your table. Number 1. 100% whole grain seeded bread. We've reached the top of the list, the champion of healthy breads. This is the kind of bread that could quite literally add years to your life. True 100% whole grain seeded bread is packed with nutritional powerhouses like pumpkin, sunflower, chia, and sesame seeds. For adults over 60, this combination represents the gold standard of bread nutrition. The synergy between whole grains and seeds creates a nutrient-dense package that delivers far more than any single ingredient could on its own. A 2024 landmark study from the Copenhagen Heart Research Center followed 18,000 adults over age 60 for 15 years, making it one of the most extensive bread studies ever conducted. The results, nothing short of remarkable. Those who ate 100% whole grain, seeded bread daily had a 47% lower risk of death from any cause compared to those who ate white bread. Even more impressive, they lived an average of 4.7 years longer and scored significantly higher in overall quality of life measures. Researchers discovered 37 different bioactive compounds in this type of bread that work together to lower inflammation, protect DNA from damage, and support energy production at the cellular level. So what makes this bread so uniquely beneficial? It starts with fiber. Think of it as a gentle broom sweeping through your digestive tract, removing waste, balancing blood sugar, and feeding your guts healthy bacteria. The bran and germ layers supply vitamin B6 for brain function, magnesium for muscle performance, and selenium, which helps strengthen your immune system as you age. Whole grain breads are also rich in antioxidants like lignans and ferulic acid, which help reduce systemic inflammation, offering added protection against arthritis, cognitive decline, and even certain types of cancer. Another big win: slow digestion. Whole grain bread provides steady, long-lasting energy without the blood sugar crashes that follow white or sugary bread. To truly benefit, read the labels carefully. Look for the words 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat, not just wheat bread, which can still contain mostly refined flour. The first ingredient should be whole grain flour, not enriched wheat flour, or vague terms like multigrain. There are so many ways to enjoy it. Toast it for sandwiches, cube it into a robust salad, or even turn it into French toast or bread pudding for a healthier dessert twist. Want to boost the benefits? Pair your whole grain bread with healthy fats and proteins like eggs, nut butter, or avocado to slow digestion and keep you full longer. And don't hesitate to branch out. Breads made with other whole grains like spelt barley or millet can add even more nutritional variety to your routine. The science is clear. If you are going to make one bread switch in your 60s or 70s, make it this one. Your heart, your brain, and your bones will thank you not just today, but for years to come. We've covered the best 4 breads for adults over 60. Now, it's time to flip the script. Let's talk about the loaves that could be quietly sabotaging your health, especially as you age. You might even have one of them sitting in your kitchen right now. Number 4. White bread. It's the classic loaf many of us grew up eating, whether it was for school lunches or morning toast. But behind its familiar softness lies one of the most deceptively harmful choices for aging bodies. White bread is made from refined wheat flour that's been stripped of its bran and germ, meaning it's lost nearly all its natural fiber and nutrients. What's left is mostly processed starch, which your body digests incredibly fast. That quick breakdown leads to sharp spikes in blood sugar, followed by inevitable energy crashes and cravings. In a 2022 study published in Diabetes Care, seniors who ate white bread daily were found to have a 46% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes and a 33% higher risk of rapid memory decline within just 5 years. That's not just concerning, it's alarming. But the trouble goes deeper. Without fiber, white bread is tough on your digestive system. It can lead to constipation, irregular digestion, and doesn't support the healthy gut bacteria that play a vital role in immune function and inflammation control. As we get older, these issues matter more than ever. And while white bread is often made with enriched flour, where synthetic vitamins are added back in after processing, it still lacks the diverse micronutrients your body naturally gets from whole grains. Regular consumption of white bread has also been linked to belly fat, a key risk factor for stroke and heart failure in older adults. But here's the good news. You don't have to give it up entirely. If you love the taste or softness, enjoy it as an occasional treat, not a daily staple. For everyday use, opt for whole grain or sourdough varieties that mimic the texture of white bread but deliver real nutritional value. And when you do indulge in white bread, try pairing it with high-fiber, protein-rich toppings like tuna eggs or hummus to help stabilize your blood sugar. The science is clear. White bread is one of the worst choices for aging bodies. Cutting back on it may be one of the easiest ways to boost your energy, memory, and overall health, one slice at a time. Number 3. Sweetbreads and pastries. Who doesn't love a warm cinnamon roll, a buttery Danish, or a soft sweet bun with morning coffee? These comforting treats may taste like nostalgia, but for adults over 60, they can quietly become a health hazard. The truth is, these pastries are packed with refined flour-added sugars and cheap inflammatory oils. This combo sends your blood sugar soaring only to crash soon after leaving you tired, cranky, and craving more. According to a 2023 review published in The Lancet, older adults who ate sugary breads or pastries 4 or more times a week had a 44% higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome, a dangerous trio of conditions that includes high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol levels. It's a direct path toward heart attacks and strokes. But it doesn't stop at cardiovascular health. Consuming too much sugar has been linked to accelerated skin, aging, worsened joint pain, and even higher rates of depression and anxiety in seniors. When you eat sweet bread, your insulin spikes, triggering a wave of inflammation throughout your body, which can aggravate arthritis, delay healing, and speed up muscle loss. Over time, your body becomes less capable of processing large amounts of sugar, and the damage builds with every bite. So what can you do if you still crave something sweet? Try making your own healthier versions at home using ingredients like mashed banana, unsweetened applesauce, or a touch of raw honey instead of refined sugar. Use whole grain flour for added fiber and nutrients. And limit store-bought pastries to special occasions, not your daily routine. Whenever you do indulge, pair your treat with protein or healthy fats like a boiled egg or a handful of almonds. This slows down sugar absorption and reduces inflammation. Also, learn to listen to your cravings. Sometimes a desire for sweets is really your body asking for more sleep, more protein, or more fiber, not more sugar. Don't let a sweet tooth quietly rob you of your health in the years that matter most. Number 2. Potato bread. At first glance, it sounds harmless, maybe even healthy. After all, potatoes can be part of a nutritious meal, right? But in bread form, they tell a very different story. Potato bread is often a starch bomb in disguise, offering plenty of fast-digesting carbs, but very little of the fiber or nutrients that help your body process those carbs in a balanced way. Most store-bought potato breads are made from a blend of white flour, sugar potato starch, or flakes, and often added oil or butter for that soft, fluffy texture. Sounds delicious, but this combination digests incredibly quickly, sending blood sugar soaring faster than almost any other bread. In fact, a 2021 study published in the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology found that adults over 60 who ate potato bread 3 or more times per week had a 37% higher risk of developing insulin resistance, a key step toward type 2 diabetes. And here's something most people don't realize. Many commercial potato breads have more added sugar per slice than you'd expect, sometimes 2 to 3 teaspoons, just to improve the color and taste. That sugar doesn't just raise your glucose levels, it fuels inflammation, something older adults are already more sensitive to. Over time, it creates a frustrating cycle. Sugar spikes, energy crashes, cravings, and stubborn weight gain, especially around the belly. To make matters worse, potato bread is often low in magnesium and potassium, 2 minerals essential for blood pressure control and muscle health as we age. If you enjoy the softness of potato bread, there are smarter ways to keep it in your life. Look for whole grain versions, or better yet, bake your own using real potatoes and whole wheat flour. That way you keep the comfort, but add fiber minerals and a slower digestion rate. Still craving that pillowy bite? Save it for special occasions, not your daily sandwich. And be mindful of how your body responds. If you feel bloated, sluggish, or hungry again soon after eating it, that's your body telling you it prefers slower-burning, nutrient-rich grains. For your everyday loaf, stick with breads backed by real science, not just softness. Number 1. Gluten-free white bread made from starch flours. Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood health foods in today's supermarkets. Gluten-free white bread, especially the kind made from rice, flour, potato starch, or tapioca starch, is often seen as a healthy choice. But if you're over 60, the truth is more complicated and more concerning. These breads are often advertised as easy to digest or good for weight control. But in reality, most gluten-free white breads are worse than regular white bread in several important ways. They tend to be low in fiber, low in nutrients, and higher in glycemic index, meaning they spike your blood sugar faster and more intensely. A 2022 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition tracked seniors who ate gluten-free white bread every day for 6 months. The results were alarming. Those individuals had a 54% higher spike in blood sugar and a 21% increase in LDL cholesterol compared to those who ate traditional whole wheat bread. That's a serious red flag for diabetes and heart disease. So why is this bread so problematic? It's often made from refined starches like white rice, flour, potato starch, tapioca, or cornstarch, combined with emulsifiers and texture-enhancing additives. These ingredients digest extremely fast, causing your blood sugar to shoot up rapidly, followed by a surge in insulin, and then a crash that leaves you feeling tired and hungry all over again. Worse still, because these breads are so highly processed, they've lost nearly all their natural vitamins, minerals, and fiber. For older adults, that means less energy-weakened immunity and a higher risk of digestive issues like constipation or inflammation. In that same study, participants also reported more joint pain, poorer sleep, and higher anxiety levels after just a few weeks of eating gluten-free white bread regularly. So, what's the solution if you truly need to avoid gluten for medical reasons? Choose gluten-free breads made from whole-grain brown rice, quinoa millet, or buckwheat. These are rich in fiber, protein, and essential nutrients, and they won't send your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. And always read the ingredient label carefully. If the first ingredients are strange starches, long chemical names, or loaded with fillers, put it back on the shelf. But if you don't have a medical reason to avoid gluten, don't be fooled by the gluten-free label. It's not a shortcut to better health. In fact, it might be the most misleading bread in the entire store. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Most people never stop to think about the bread they eat every day. But now, you hold the key to smarter science-backed choices, and that knowledge could truly transform your health in your 60s, 70s, and for many years to come. Now it's your turn. Which bread do you eat most often? And which one are you thinking about trying or replacing after this video? Share your thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. Your body deserves the very best, especially now. Let every bite reflect that. And if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. We share science-backed tips just like this every week to help you thrive at every age.